Right. All right. Check it out, guys. Got something a little bit different tonight. In fact, I gotta be honest with you. I don't even know what I'm doing, and I don't mean like I normally don't know what I'm doing, which is most of the time. I mean like literally don't even know what I'm doing tonight. So let me kind of do the too long didn't read thing real quick. So I had somebody message me. I guess I was on another stream. I was on Atheist Pastor's stream. If you haven't checked him out, go do it. Big fan of his. And they had said that this person should get a hold of me and start and have him on and to talk about Darwin's deity and some of the philosophy of Darwin's deity. And I guess that he has some kind of quiz that he wants me to take. Now, I watched a few of his videos. I went to his webpage. He gave me his permission as username Rob. That's you want to go by Rob, right?
Or you could just go by Debunked.
Debunked? All right, I'll go by Debunked. So Debunked, and I also got Isaac in here. If you guys remember him, Ask Yourself. I probably should have put his little YouTube avatar on, but whatever. You're here. So
all good.
All right, so you're somebody that knows Darwin's pretty well. I've had experience with Darwin's. So
I don't know about pretty well. I know him though.
You know him. Okay, that's fair enough. So Debunked, you got a hold of me, and you wanted to talk about Darwin's deity and do this quiz. And first, like, how do you know Darwin's, and why do you have this webpage and quiz on him?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering also. How does someone end up spending the time building something like this? Like, what motivates that?
Well, really, what motivates it is the desire to get the truth out. To show his lines of reasoning and his philosophy and logic, and to show internally it's similar to an internal critique, but it's to show the inconsistencies and the problems which are within his own worldview. That's basically.
And by the way, I got no issue with that. I think it's been done multiple times over 10 years. Anybody who thinks. Look, let's be serious. Anybody who takes Darwin deity seriously probably has never taken a philosophy course in their life, or has read a book or paper or anything. I mean, would you agree?
As far.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you speaking with me or
either one.
The other?
No. I'll speak. Debunked. I'm asking you. I got to ask yourself for because he knows logic pretty well and reason and.
You say pretty well too much. I mean, I don't know Darth too well. I don't know logic too well.
Yeah, whatever, dude. I'm trying to bolster your ego here. What do you want me to do? Bring you down? I got this idiot I brought in who doesn't really know this guy Darwin's. Who never opened up a logic book in his life. He's got to Ask Yourself. He runs a Discord server. You can go check it out if you want. But why bother? He's an idiot. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'd rather undersell than oversell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all I got to do is watch. Here's the thing. All I got to do is watch you and T-Jump have a discussion, and
yeah, you'll know I'm fucked. I just don't know anything.
Yeah. By the way, I hate jumpy topics, but has he ever explained to you what a biconditional truth? When a biconditional is true? Not a hard question. I'm just
I no, not he hasn't. I doubt that he's looked it up.
Again, sorry, tangent. You should have asked him when a material condition is true. That's a lot harder.
I mean, I don't think he's going to know when any of the basic operators are true or not. So
I'm going to have a hangout on one day on logic gates, and we're going to be talking about because there's something called what is it? Ever heard of rationalistic logic or rational logic? It's a type of logic that is because the material condition is weird, that it's only false when the consequent is false. It actually tries to explain that a little bit because there's no correlation in a material condition. It's weird. It shouldn't be. Yeah, it sucks in logic. But anyways, sidetrack. Let's get back to you, Debunked here. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, this is what we do on my channel. We go all over the place. So you ran into Darth Dawkins. You realized he had some pretty dumb arguments, and so you made a web page and you made this quiz, and now you want people to take it. Is that it?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to promote it. More or less, I'm just promoting it right now. I've only actually been online. I've never actually did anything online until May 15. So I'm all very new to actually personally being online where anyone heard my voice. Okay. No one actually right now has seen my face, but they've heard my voice since May 15. But the website and the quiz is going back to like over a year. I started on it literally a year. So it took several months to put together the website, and the quiz was not so long, was maybe a month or so to complete the quiz. So,
All right.
but as far as me personally, I'm new to this online, an online presence.
How many questions are there? And do you mind if ask yourself and I kind of confer on each question?
Oh, I don't mind at all.
Okay.
That's what I would be hoping for. There are 20 questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
You know,
You're-
I feel like Jack would be able to ace this.
Oh no!
I don't know
Has
if-
has Jack
I don't know
Ingstrike
if
done
Steve
this?
and I.
Has Jack Ingstrike done this
I
quiz?
hope that our cumulative knowledge is enough to get through this.
Yeah,
but
I don't.
know.
Hey, look, I live on YouTube. I don't mind embarrassing myself. Okay, I really don't.
I don't understand what Darth is saying like 90% of the time, so I might
because you're
flunk
not.
this quiz.
Because you're not. You don't. Because God hasn't revealed it to you in a way that you can know for certain. That's why.
Right, of course. Duh.
So, because he has the only true coherent worldview. Has Jack Ingstrike done this quiz? Debunked?
Not to my knowledge.
He should,
I mean,
because he knows more about him than anybody.
Yeah, I don't know who personally has actually did it. Oh, the only one I know who I actually was with was on May 15th. I was on 𝐒𝐭𝐞𝐯𝐞 YouTube channel, and he did it online. We did a live stream, and he took the quiz. But other than that, I don't know the individuals that have actually took this quiz, or
All right, let's jump into it. All right, welcome to the Darth Dawkins
Okay.
Debunked Worldview Quiz. All right, by the way, always read instructions when you do something. I did testing all my life. You take the SATs, you took the ASVAB, read the instructions, and listen to your proctor. All right, and by the way, you can say pencils down. Please read carefully. All questions in this exam are either true or false, multiple choice, or fill in the blank. This is not one of those things, read all questions first, then at the very end says, just put your name on the top of the paper and hand in kind of crap, is it? Hate that.
No chewing gum in class.
Oh, by the way, you have a friend in the live chat, Smoky Saint. He says hi.
Oh, okay, great.
Awesome. Okay, so...
Hey, Steve,
Yeah.
Steve, I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you have a way to share your screen?
Are you watching the outside video? I could just watch the outside video.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, watch the outside video.
That's fine.
And by the way, I watched your promo video, but you got my name wrong twice. It's RAE, but that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For future
I'm
reference.
sorry
All
about
right. All right, so read the question and then click on your choice and then submit. After you click on submit, you'll be redirected to the next page and you will be given the correct answer. Oh, so there are correct answers. Okay. And proceeded to the following question. You may take the exam as many times as you desire. Why? Some people might want to do it more than once. Okay, it's a good idea to have a notepad handy. This is why I have Isaac here, so that you can score incorrectly. You can go back on your second attempt or any attempt after that and select the correct answer. Disclaimer. Hey, Isaac, you want to read the disclaimer?
Yeah, to date, no one has ever been able to successfully pass the quiz due to the impossibility of the
So
contrary.
you cannot be wrong by not being right, I guess. Okay. Hey, Erato, here's your muse out there in the live chat. Mwah. Good to see you. Oh, yeah, by the way, I guess I have this thing how I talk to women because I'm so nice to them. It's a bad... I'm so horrible. I'm sorry, Erato. Mwah. No, I'm not. Let's see. Another sidetrack. It's kind of weird that I have so many female friends that I adore and I love. And yet I have idiots just on Twitter today telling me how bad I talk to women. And I'm like, excuse me. I adore my female friends and I respect the hell out of them and they mean a lot to me. And I'm really tired of people speaking for them because it's disrespectful to them. It's infantilizing them or no, it's not infanticized, infinitizing. Yeah, is that what it is?
Infantilizing?
Infantilizing, yeah. Them, and it's bad form, and they need to stop doing it. But you're out in the muse. Always a pleasure to see you. First question is shown below, and remember, when taking the exam, if Darth says it, it must be so. Okay. All right. So we've already started off with the presupposition that if Darth says it, it must be so. Is that right? Debunked?
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely correct.
All right. Good luck. Question 1. According to Darth Dawkins, is the biblical God falsifiable? No. Darth says God is unfalsifiable. Darth says there are ways to falsify Christian God. Well, I already know the answer to this one. He actually does say there are ways to falsify the Christian God. I don't think he ever tells anybody what they are, but he has said this before.
All right, I'm going to trust you. Let's go with yes.
You concur?
Yep. Submitting.
All right,
Good luck, okay? Good luck.
All right. Sorry, wrong answer. Darth says that God is unfalsifiable. Bullshit! I've heard him say it. This is rigged.
God falsifiable answer. Okay, no. Darth says God is unfalsifiable.
God is wait. So God's falsifiable. But by the way, I think there's a trick question. Whenever what you answer, it's you get it wrong, huh?
Wait, and does this assume that Darth actually has like consistent views on all these things?
It actually assumes that he has no consistency. Yeah, because I bet I'm not going to play these because I don't want to get any strikes. But I guess here he says I'm going to take your word for that. This is in the video, by the way. I trust you. So in this video, he says God is not falsifiable, and in this one, no, wait.
One is someone asking him, he says no, and he says God is unfalsifiable.
Yeah, but see, I've heard him say that God is falsifiable.
I bet he's said both.
Yeah. Are you sure about this? Wait, Debunk, are you sure about this? Because I've heard him say God is unfalsifiable before. Or should be God is falsifiable. He's never given the conditions.
If you'd like to play the videos, please be my guest.
I'll take your word for it. So what is the correct answer? That God is falsifiable or God is unfalsifiable?
Well, that's why I was saying in the disclaimer, no one has passed the exam due to the impossibility of the contrary.
All right, question 2. According to Darth, could he be wrong about everything he claims to know? Darth says no when he claims it. When he was asked that question, yes, Darth claims it's possible to him to psychologically deceive himself. I'm going to say Darth said no.
Wait, sorry. We're on question 2. According to Darth, could he be wrong about everything he claims to know?
Yeah, I think
no. He definitely doesn't think he could be wrong about everything. Wait, no, wrong about everything. No, because there's something he's sure he knows, which is God exists.
All right, so
could he be wrong? No, he could. Definitely.
I'm gonna go with that one too.
Right?
Let's do it.
Okay. Sorry, wrong answer.
Wrong answer. Darth says
sorry, is this actually set up the way that Steve said it's set up?
I think it's set up no matter
what answer you put.
Yeah, hey, look, I'm smart. I think I've seen a pattern here. I think if you put one answer, it goes to one page. If you put the other answer, it goes to another page. Is that correct?
You're right. You're dead on. That's
by the way, I like this. I'm not. By the way, I like this, dude. I see what you did here. I see the pattern.
Okay.
I see this. And by the way, I love your honesty. Please keep that up. I love your honesty because this is what we do here. We try to do critical thinking, and this is why, because we want people to think logically and rationally and look for these kind of patterns.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So
I just started the quiz over again, and I see now what's happening.
Yeah, and I have not. I swear to God. So I swear to God that may or may not exist. Ronnie, $2.99 or $2. Wait, $2.99. I can't see. $2. I lost a contact. I got to get another one. Darth told Busy. Oh my God. Oh, Darth told. God damn it! I can't read this.
Are you on question 3, Steve?
No, I'm trying to read the super chat. Darth told Ozzy and Jack, "Dead body of Christ would." Oh, okay. Yeah, that I guess so. So if you found, well, that wouldn't disprove God. It would falsify Christianity, though. Right? Obviously, that falsify Christianity, but it wouldn't falsify God. And atheist pastor says Darth is a clown. I agree, Darth. By the way, I shout out your channel earlier today. You're welcome. All right, so I believe you're, by the way, I don't want to play the videos, but I do believe you. Darth says it is possible for him to be psychologically deceive himself, but I have heard him say otherwise. Okay, number 3. According to Darth, how many ways are there to falsify something? Darth said there's only one way you can falsify something through the law of non-contradiction, or B, according to Darth, there are several ways to falsify something. Well, I'm going to go with both in this particular one, but I think I'm pretty much sure him say the law of non-contradiction. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Sorry, wrong answer. Darth says there are several ways to falsify something, according to the following videos.
Yeah.
Quote, okay, so what you're saying, and I agree with you, is you're making an appeal to the law of non-contradiction and excluded middle, right? I guess I don't know.
I'm just trying to read into the context because I don't want to play the videos, but what the hell does the law of non-contradiction and excluded middle have to do with falsification criteria?
Oh, I don't know what's going on in Darth's brain. Who has any idea?
And by the way, I just did a blog, and I explained the law of non-contradiction, and I literally derived the excluded middle using natural logic from the law of non-contradiction, and I proved it in a natural logic checker. You can do this, by the way. That's the cool thing about logic. It's objective. Yeah. The problem is you're not narrowing your focus. Your focus is too wide, and you're scurrying down semi-related rabbit trail now in order to... I'm going to ask you a very simple question. How do you falsify something? How do you falsify a preposition? That's incorrect, sir. The way that you just said is wrong. Okay. The way that you falsify a proposition to verify the negation of the proposition, do you understand?
Wait, it's not saying... Oh, these are all different ways he said you can falsify? Oh, okay.
I think so. Yeah, you
I don't see how the first one's about falsification. What's the next one? In order to falsify A, you have to say not A, okay? You can only falsify something by a proposed state of affairs by pointing to the state of affairs that contradicts it. Doesn't that kind of mean the same thing as pointing to the negation?
Yeah, but that's...
Giving me more...
But this is where I think Darth majorly gets confused. The law of non-contradiction just says that, you know, a proposition cannot be true or false at the same time. And the law of excluded middle says it has to be one or the other. But the falsification criteria, it doesn't violate either one of those, right? I mean, the basic of falsification is just have to show there's something about it that makes it no longer the case, right? You have to show, like he said, I mean, he's not wrong in here. You have to show some state of affairs that says this is not the case, right?
I have to just point out, one of these videos has my channel logo on it. What is this?
Oh yeah, look at that. Hey, who's this? It's just, by the way, is this Ask Yourself that says this? You give me more mumbo jumbo. How do you falsify something without the law of identity? Wait, what?
That's hilarious.
I'll repeat.
That's funny.
I don't know what that even means, dude. I'll keep on repeating myself until I get an adult answer. How do you falsify something without the law of identity or non-contradiction? That sounds like, is that you saying that? Because that's weird.
That's Darth saying.
Oh, that's Darth saying. Okay, and he's saying...
all of these videos, if you listen to them, it's a conversation between Darth and whoever he's speaking with.
Is this Isaac's video?
It just has my logo. Maybe it was recorded in the server or something.
How do you falsify?
It probably was recorded on, I think it was on YouTube, on the Ask Yourself channel. I believe so. Discord. I believe so, yeah.
That'd be not surprising, yeah.
That's weird.
Question the fourth.
All right.
According to Darth, can one hold a neutral view about God? Absolutely not.
That's false. That's got to be false. There's no other answer to that. It's false. It's false. Submit. And you're wrong.
Okay, this I've got to see, because I swear he's consistent.
Please read this, because I don't get this.
Okay, according to Darth, one can be neutral. See video below. Okay, Brandon, there are three basic positions on the existence of God. One can affirm the existence of God, one can deny, and one can remain neutral, such as an agnostic, where you don't know whether or not God does or does not exist. So if it's your position that you neither affirm or deny the existence of God, then the best word you should use in order to not be confusing, confusion and common parlance, is to call yourself an agnostic.
Okay, I don't have a problem with this, except for there's two things. One, Darwin has an argument that he thinks agnosticism is incoherent worldview. That's been a newer thing that he's said. And also in this, he's using, matter of fact, I was just talking to Isaac earlier on this, before we went on live. The word deny is as he's using it. Deny means to accept negation, generally speaking, in logic. So if you affirm the negation, you think it's positive. You deny the proposition, you accept the negation, right? Or you remain neutral and you just don't have a position either way. Exactly right. And when you say you don't know whether God, this is where I think it's wrong. He says where you don't know whether or not God does not exist or does not exist. Yeah, it's not that. It's you don't know how to answer the question is what it actually is. You don't know if you should. You don't know if you well, how should I say that? You don't know how to properly evaluate the proposition. Therefore, what you do is you suspend judgment on it. That's agnostic in this particular case.
I just take it to mean you don't have a belief.
Yeah, that's it. You don't have a belief either way. Bingo. Simple. Good. Keep it simple.
So I guess I want to be charitable to Darth for some horrible reason here, though. I have a feeling that what he's probably saying there is probably describing either this is an old video and he used to actually think this, or he's like describing what an agnostic like claims their view is, but he doesn't actually think it's possible to have that view.
Well, he does though now think I guess agnosticism is an incoherent worldview, which is it's neither. But
no,
let's do
can't do that.
Let's do question 5. Go ahead. You gonna read them?
Hello, Steve.
Yeah.
Hello, Steve. Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead. No, please.
Just to let you know, most of the videos I tried to actually have a note beside, so you could read it, but eventually you're going to see some of them that don't have the note. So in order to actually know what it's doing, you have to play.
Okay, that's fine.
The majority of them, I'm still working. I want to finish it and have all the notes on every one, but right now I don't have that finished yet.
Are they just clips? Like very short clips?
Yeah, they're very. Oh, yes, yes, they're very short clips.
Okay, and they're all on your channel.
Yeah.
Okay, then if I have your permission, then it's fine. I have your permission to play your clips.
Stole from other people.
Okay, well that's the problem. They're stole from other people. I don't want to play clip. I don't want to get any. I already got people false flagging me. I literally have. I swear to you, I have actual people all the time false flagging me. It's ridiculous. And by the way, on record, I've never false flagged anybody. The DMCAs I have done have been legit, and those videos were taken down because they were actually violations. People false flag me. Not one of them have ever gone through on this particular channel. Not one. Because I fought every one of them because those are false flags. And what's funny is people are actually supporting those people. They think it's a great idea. Go false flag people. You see anybody false flagging or supporting anybody who false flagging, like Kitty Joy Polson, then I have an issue with you. You're a despicable human being. And every one of those people that are promoting these false flaggers, you're a piece of shit. All right. Number 5. According to... you're going to read it. Go ahead.
Oh, gladly. Okay, according to Darth, since atheists can't justify their worldview because their worldview is incoherent and unintelligible, I love the word unintelligible there, he does not agree with any statement made from an atheist's worldview, true or false. I mean, I'm sure he's gone both ways.
I know. I'm going to go with true because it's just... That sounds more like him.
He's going to say... I have a feeling that, So... I'll say true also, obviously, but I think that what Darth probably does is he'll say that he agrees with what the statement is taught. This doesn't make sense because it's Darth's mind, obviously, but he'll probably say he agrees with the statement, but he probably thinks there's some kind of I forget the term. I think I've heard it called semantic holism, where there's some kind of entailment from one proposition to all of the other propositions you believe. There's some kind of connectedness there.
I have heard something similar to that, and
because I think he wants to say even if if we just say P, sure he might superficially agree with P, but ultimately the rest of our worldview is somehow entailed by P.
Yeah, there's all propositions seem to relate to another. Yeah, I've heard something.
I think he wants something like that probably.
Right. And the answer is wrong. So let's play this video. I'll play this.
Does it give audio when you play it on your stream?
Oh yeah, it should. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll play this too.
You would one way might be that you could see that that thing doesn't correspond with reality.
Hey, that's
not true.
okay. So
what you're saying, so what you are saying, and I agree with you, is you're making
is it Joe?
a law of non-contradiction and exclude middle, right?
In a way, you can say that.
Okay, good. Now, in order to falsify A, you have to say not A. Okay? You can only falsify a proposed state of affairs by pointing to a state of affairs that contradicts it.
I don't disagree with him. I mean, if you have a proposition that's true and you found something that shows it's false, contradiction would be a falsification criteria, would it not? So I don't disagree with him on that. But
remember, Steve, in every case, you're seeing the correct answer no matter how you choose.
Yeah, because I get that because he's in somewhere else he said the opposite. I know, but there usually a little one is probably more correct than the other. Okay, number 6. According to Darth, is it possible to do a coherent internal critique from another worldview other than one's own worldview? No.
Oh, I'm basically certain he would contradict himself on that because he would say he can do it as a Christian, but he'd probably say others can't do it.
All right, so you would say yes, one can do a coherent internal critique from outside their own worldview? Saying yes or no?
I think. I know we can just say either here, but I'm just trying to think of what Darth would actually think. I think that at think he probably thinks that an atheist doing an internal critique on a theist is incoherent for some reason.
Yeah, I want to go with
thinks
yes because I want to see if that's what he thinks. Can we do yes?
Okay,
please?
let's do yes.
You're so malleable. Sorry, wrong answer. Let's pick one here.
Me, even hypothetically, any other worldview that is not your own is a contradiction in terms.
By the way, these are fair use. Fair use.
How?
Because all worldviews are mutually exclusive to all other worldviews. Your worldview contradicts every other worldview. My worldview contradicts every other worldview. So you cannot invoke out of your worldview, let's say it's worldview X. You don't even have to tell me what your worldview is. But if you're speaking from worldview X, from worldview X, you cannot propose that worldview W is a viable contender or even a potential contender.
Okay, I can only take so much. Darn it. Here's the thing about worldviews. The way I look at a worldview, and you see what you agree on this. A worldview is just an overall theory of reality that we all have. I don't believe we each have like individual worldviews. I hate when people say Christians have worldview and the atheist worldview and this worldview and evolution worldview. A worldview to me is an overarching view of everything. It's an individual's all-encompassing theory of everything. That's what I
it's like if you wrote down every proposition that someone has an attitude about.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing is, Darth is notoriously unclear about what a worldview is. I got muted by him recently for trying to understand. He asked me, am I clear about my worldview or something like that? And I said, well, it depends what worldview means. Like, does that just refer to the big set of propositions? He was not hearing it. He did not want to reply to that. But yeah, he's notoriously confusing about it. It seems so straightforward to just say, like, yeah, it's just this big, like, group of propositions.
That's how I look at it. Now, if people want to use it differently, again, I'm not a prescriptivist. Hey, Matt Dillahunty, I'm not a prescriptivist, you idiot. Yeah, I just call him an idiot. I'm at this point, it's like he knows he's lying, and I cannot, in good conscience, think somebody who would be intelligent to constantly lie about somebody about that. I'm not a prescriptivist. So if somebody says, hey, a worldview is my position as far as, I'm an atheist worldview or a Christian worldview, they're more than able to do that. I don't just, say don't do that. It's just not how I use the term, right? That makes sense?
Yeah, you don't
I probably
think that
should call
there's
Matt Dillahunty an idiot. He's actually a pretty smart guy that if he just stuck with his Bible stuff and it's not lying to people like me, it wouldn't be a problem.
Are you just saying that there's not like a fact of the matter about which definition is correct?
Yeah, exactly. There's no like one is not any more correct than the other. It's just how you use it, right? I mean, typically
there is a fact of the matter. It's just about maybe which you prefer, or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Sure.
There's a fact of the matter which one I prefer. There obviously that is. There's a truth condition, right? Not a truth maker, but there's a truth condition that makes that true. And usually a truth condition is some kind of relationship. A truth maker is some kind of instantiation. All right. I'm going to get flack for calling him an idiot. I'm really caffeinated. I apologize. I shouldn't have called Matt Dillahunty an idiot.
I think you guys should.
But
I'd like to see his debate.
He's really got my goat for continue to lie about me, dude. I'm telling you, it's just consistent, and it's just it really speaks ill for the atheist community when you have atheist activists out there. One of them just literally today was just lying about me left and right, and it's just like, dude, people need to stop this. Stop lying about people. It's just. I mean, I don't care if the bottom. I don't care if the bottom feeders do it. That's their shtick, right? The bottom feeders are going to lie. Trolls are going to troll. But when you have a audience the size of like Matt Dillahunty, or if you're a leader, some organization like an atheist organization, you need to be a little bit more honest. I'm just saying. There's a distinction there.
What were they saying about you?
Oh, I was on David Silverman's channel the other day, and we were talking about stuff, and one of the atheist leaders from the the Canadian Atheist International or something, or Canadian Atheism, said on that channel I sexually harassed somebody. I'm like, it was just me and David. Who the hell did I sexually harass? What the hell are you even talking about? It was an outright lie, outright fabrication, and of course he wouldn't retract it. And I'm like, you're just a piece of shit. Who does this? And he's a leader in the atheist community. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm at this point. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm just calling a pet kettle black. I'm saying you are a piece of shit when you start actively lying about people.
Wait, you don't want to call that calling the kettle black?
Oh, that's, well, yeah, I guess so. Huh? maybe the wrong, maybe the wrong, the wrong metaphor.
I know what you
there.
mean. I
But yeah,
yeah.
but it's amazing though, because these people are in positions of power and they don't seem to care about verticality. They don't seem to care about what's true or not. It's just amazing. And these people are the skeptic community. By the way, that guy that's in charge of the international or what is it, Canadian atheism, he literally got 5 things wrong on fallacies one time in a row. 5. And I wasn't just me counting. If you don't believe me, ask the intrigued feline. She counted, and she said that she even counted 5 accusations of committing fallacies that he didn't understand properly. He got wrong, and it's like, wait a minute. You need if you're an atheist activist and you don't understand basic and formal logic, you need to be replaced. You need to straight be replaced.
There's something cringy about someone who's like out there advocating for atheism and like misusing kind of basic terms.
Right.
It's not good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyways, sidetrack. By the way, hey, we got Colorado Biker Prepper out there. What's up, buddy? By the way, he's been to my house. We've hung out together. Cool people. All right, question 7. You want to read it?
Yeah, gladly. So, true or false? According to Darth, our most basic fundamental cognitive reasoning is God ordained, which necessarily means they can't be assumptions. I mean, obviously he thinks that. How could it possibly? Right. When has he ever said that's not the case?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with true, and the reason why I'm gonna go with true is because he literally says that he presupposes God, which is an assumption, and you can't even have any kind of cognitive ability to reason without presupposing the existence of God. That's his whole shtick. That's what presuppositionism is. All right. This has got to be true, right? It cannot be wrong. Shit. Sorry, wrong answer. God dang it.
Let's play this.
All right.
Okay, I'm playing now.
Grow up, act like an adult in these rooms, but you see, I'm assuming that from within my worldview, that the God of the Bible has endowed you with certain basic cognitive reasoning faculties. But you see,
you're assuming that you have justification
I'd
for
like
it, or
to
you
speak
just assume
without
that?
being interrupted. I
Do you
really
have
would appreciate
justification
it.
for it?
We'll echo there.
I don't understand. He's giving you basic reasoning faculties.
Yeah, hang on. I got the echo coming through you. Debunked.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Well, it is possible.
That's cool. It's cool.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. It's gone now. But see, this was Godless Girl, and Godless Girl has a great point that she makes. Darwin's deity, what he does is he presupposes God, right? Now, he could take it as a properly basic belief, which is Plantinga's version of Reformed epistemology. But by the way, I don't think it is. I think maybe you can justify it as a basic belief, but there's no way you can justify it as a properly basic belief. It's unjustifiable. This is an assumption. And Godless makes a good point. She's like, well, you can assert this, you can assume it as a assumption or an axiom or presupposition, but you're not justified into doing it, and especially as a properly basic belief, because properly basic beliefs, literally by definition, are not inferential and they're non-dosastically justifiable. They're unwarrantable assumptions, and so we just take them axiomatically as what's called irrational states. So when she's asking him this, he knows this. He's being called out. Isaac, what do you think on that?
I honestly don't know. Like, I don't know what he's saying half the time. I don't think I can give anything useful there.
Well, do you agree that properly basic beliefs, when they are proper, like foundationalism, they are non-dosastic, they're unjustifiable?
Well, I don't know if I believe in properly basic beliefs, but
okay.
Yeah, if there are properly basic beliefs, then I think the whole idea is that they're non-inferentially justified.
Correct. But you're one of those coherentists, aren't you?
I don't actually have a view on epistemic justification.
All right, so you can appeal to any of them at any time for any reason.
Well, the thing is, like, I mean, I would try to avoid making arguments that are gonna, like, put me in a spot of having to defend one particular theory of epistemic justification. Like, I would just kind of say, like, inferences, like a valid deductive inference, that seems to just uncontroversially justify. Like, it seems like all theories of epistemic justification want to say inferences justify.
Yeah, so I get that. Once you have that properly, yes.
But well, I guess I would just say, like, you know, I'll make arguments from other propositions. Like, I don't know if it bottoms out somewhere, if it's a web, if it's an infinite chain. Like, I don't know about that kind of shit. But I know that all those theories say that, you know, a deductively valid argument can be a justifier. So as long as I make a, you know, a valid argument and it's from propositions that the person I'm talking to already accepts, like, that should be able to work most of the time.
I'm totally cool with that, man. Yeah, it's just that when people, like, for example, Darwin loves to run this script about, oh, how do you justify use of induction without using induction, or how do you use your reason without using your reason? You can't, by the way. You just have to suck it up. But he finds these atheist white belts out there that go, oh, well, let me tell you how I justify using induction, and he just runs circles around them. Stop doing it, people. You cannot. There's some newer theories out there, but for all practical purposes, you cannot justify use of induction. That's Hume's problem. Induction. Stop doing it. All right, question 8. I'll let you read these.
Well, I think one thing I want to say is, like, so one person who I respect a lot is JHC, and he kind of emphasizes, I mean, I assume he'd do it with the induction thing, but he's emphasized it with a lot of things Darth says. Just give me a second to think of how to say this. He wants to say, you don't have to go as far as to say that it's impossible to justify something like, I don't know, like sense perception or the uniformity of nature, or, you know, induction or something like this, but just we're not aware of a justification.
Yeah, by the way, that's my argument too. I'm in the same boat as that. I don't think it's impossible. I think right now I really don't have a way to do so. But I will say this: you cannot justify the use of induction by using induction.
Well, that, I mean, unless you accept some kind of virtuous circularity or something.
Yeah, circularity, yeah.
I mean, I don't think virtuous circularity makes any sense.
Okay.
But yeah, the other thing that's important to point out there is that, like, can you watch the echo? It's very hard to talk when you're echoing, Rob. Or debunked. The other thing I'd point out is just that, like, sorry, you really got to kill that echo. I can't talk when I have that. It makes it impossible. So. It's okay. The other thing I was going to say is just that it's important to point out that Darth doesn't have answers to these things, right? Like, there are things he can raise that, you know, people aren't going to have clear answers to them. Like, he'll raise things that are, you know, unsettled questions in philosophy. But that doesn't mean that he has an answer to it. So it's just also worth pointing that out. All
right. You got something to add, Debunked?
No, that's fine.
All right. Let's move on to question 8 then. Go ahead, Isaac.
So according to Darth, which of the following is his starting point? Okay, so A, your presupposition can be considered your fundamental starting point. Well, presupposition that what? Sorry. B, you have to start with the laws of logic. C, you start with the case that the Christian God exists. D, you start with the case that God exists and has revealed himself. Or E, Darth said, before we can discuss God or anything else, you have to understand that there are certain rules of thinking.
Where's the all of the above?
Oh, God.
This is hard.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
he said so many of these. He said all of these, actually.
I feel like Gotham wants to actually clarify this. I think what he wants to say is that there's, like, all of these foundational beliefs, like the uniformity of causation or the reliability of sense perception or the reliability of induction or deduction, like all this kind of stuff. And he wants to say basically that those are all non-inferentially justified by God's revelation. As far as I understand it, that's what he's trying to say. But yeah, I have no idea.
I would say he's going to say C, but I want to put B. You have to start the laws of logic because I want to see how
Yeah, let's do B.
All right, B. Although I'm going to, by the way, I think he would actually, I normally say C, but actually he said all of these, so it doesn't matter. All right, B. Oh, wait. Did I get it correct? It says you're correct.
Correct. Take your pick of the following videos.
Did I get one correct?
All of them are.
That's all of them. Just pick your pick.
That's right. Yes,
they're all correct. Oh,
yes.
All of them are correct because he said all these before. Right. I get it.
So,
congratulations.
Hey, I was right. Hey, by the way, I know Darth, man. I've been doing pretty well, haven't I?
Yeah, I'm glad that this test throws us a bone at one point. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, I felt, at least I didn't flunk it completely. Well, your presumption could be considered what your fundamental starting point or your ultimate commitment. You have to start with the laws of logic as a necessary starting point to even begin to then turn around. In retrospect, turn about the laws of logic. Wait, what?
I don't believe unless you start from that it is the case that the Christian God exists, that you have any basis for rationality. My starting point is that the Christian God exists and that he has revealed himself. Now, before we can discuss God or anything else, you have to understand that there are certain rules of thinking. I think that rules of thinking and laws of logic are probably the same thing in his mind.
I wouldn't go on a limb, and I'm going to give him a little bit of principle of charity here. What's called the laws of thought and the laws of logic are synonymous. All right. So the laws of logic are known as the laws of thought. Now, there's more than just the 3 that I did on the my blog. There are other ones. I did talk about the identity of indiscernibility and the indiscernibility of identicals. I did talk about that, which are, by the way, can be considered laws of thought. Same with what's called the principle of sufficient reason is part of the laws of logic. Rules of inferences can be construed as laws of logic. So there's other things out there that just are laws of logic. But the 3 primary ones, this is the one he talks about. They're also known as the laws of thought. And so when he says rule of thinking, I'm going to say that's probably the same thing.
I think you're right. I think he's just talking about Aristotle's.
However, these are contradictions here. If he says my starting point is the Christian God, and he says his starting point is logic, those cannot be the same thing unless the logic are the Christian God, and they're the same. They're literally the same thing.
I'm sure you'd find some strange way to make sense of that. Yeah. Question 9.
One second. I got some questions. I got some questions first. Somebody asked me, "Hey Steve, love your content. What books on philosophy and logic would you recommend?" I had that question before, and I did recommend a book, and they loved it, but it wasn't really as philosophical as you might think. It's about philosophy, but it's called Flatland by George Abbott. Great book.
Oh, I know what Flatland is.
Flatland was brilliant. It opens up your mind to thinking higher. And I'd also recommend, if you want to learn a little bit of logic, it was called For All of X. You can go to a natural logic checker, download, it's a PDF file called For All of X. It is really good. But just the best thing you can do if you want to learn these kind of things, just go read some PDFs. I'm telling you, PDFs are great for this kind of stuff.
You can just get texts that they would teach in like a university course, like a really good. Yeah, there's a really good intro logic text by Russell Marcus. It's called Introduction to Formal Logic with Philosophical Applications. That's great. And then there's this one that I've just gotten that I'm very excited for. And it's Graham Priest's Introduction to Non-Classical Logic.
Well, Graham Priest is a modal logic expert.
Yeah, he seems really interesting. I don't know much about him.
I've talked to him before. Not on voice, but I've communicated with him in email. He was going to come on and talk about modal realism.
I believe that's cool, actually. You should try to do that. I believe he created a pair-consistent logic, but I don't know much about Priest.
He does a lot of work with diatheistic logic, pair-consistent logic, and modal. He's a modal anti-realist, I asked him a question about modal realism, and come to find out, it was actually not as dumb question as I thought. I had asked him. By the way, you're echoing it. I had asked him, look, like David Lewis promotes modal realism. And if you want to assume that or state that possible worlds have ontology, then if you say that, Little Red, $20, Little Red, Steve, we're going to have a chat. Love you, man. Oh, we got some private time. Yes. First of all, Little Red, do I have your permission to banter with you on an adult channel in a way that will be misconstrued by other people? Hopefully, because that's what I want to see. Because I want to point out to people that they're misconstruing and they're talking on behalf of people that I care about, like Little Red, which to me is disgusting. It puts feminism back like 50 years. Congratulations. By the way, I'm not advocating for that. I don't want to put feminism back. I mean, feminism is supposed to move forward, not backwards. Stop speaking for women. Let them speak for themselves. But thank you for that, Little Red. And by the way, do I have permission? And okay, so what I was saying, so modal realism. David Lewis, he promotes modal realism as these things have actual concreteness. It's called hyperstantiation, that they have actual ontologies. And I had asked Graham Priest, if that's the case, then even the mere possibility of you acknowledging that God is possible, therefore God exists in some possible world, therefore, are you a theist? And he said essentially yes, because you're believing that God exists in some actualized world, unless you want to. I think that he was saying that the way he would narrow it down is that if you believe God exists in this actualized world, right? So what does a theist mean? Is it somebody who believes that God exists in this actualized, indexical world, or that exists in any actualized world? Which, by the way, to us are not actualized. Actualized are indexical, so they're only going to be something that we would consider to be an actualized world. There's only one actualized world to us. But let's say like there's a version of me that lives in a possible world where there is a God that does exist. That's their actualized world. And so what would a theist mean at that point, right? So if I believe that the God exists, but he only exists in some other possible world that does exist, does that make me a theist or not?
Well, it just seems like the same kind of way we think about, like, do dragons exist? Like, presumably everyone's taking that to refer to, like, in the actual world.
I think so. I think it's going to be the actualized world, right? So even if I acknowledge, if I was a modal realist and actualized, if I realize that God must exist in a possible world, because that's logical, therefore he does exist in some possible world that does exist, doesn't necessarily mean he believes that he exists in this actualized one, unless you do Plantinga's argument that if God exists in one, he has to exist in all as a metaphysical necessity, right? In which case you're kind of locked into being a theist at that point, I think. I don't know. Anyways, sidetrack. All right, so moving on. By the way, just to let you know, Debunk, we'd sidetrack a lot on this channel.
Oh no, that's good. Feel free.
We like philosophy.
I'm enjoying.
All right.
I'm enjoying.
I like sidetracks. I don't always have things to say about them, but if I do, I'll throw some words in.
It's my charm. All right, question 9. Go ahead.
Which of the following words means a statement of fact or a proposition with respect to the context or system that it is derived from? Meaning or intelligibility? I'm probably both. I mean, I want to click both. You want to do A?
Yeah, let's do A, but I want to make sure that I even understand this. A statement of fact or a proposition with respect to the context or system is derived from... Oh, fuck. Yeah, let's go with meaning. You're correct, because they're both. Correct. Yes!
Yeah. Question 10. Are you playing the clip on your stream?
Yeah, I was going to play. Well, we know it's both. Yeah. Question 10, go ahead.
According to Darth, if you hold a neutral position, you refer to yourself as an agnostic. Well, I think Darth wants to say that, like, yeah, refer to yourself as that, but that position doesn't make any sense. I assume that's what he'd say, but okay, what are the options?
Well,
because... Oh, sorry?
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to read the options.
Yeah, you read the options.
Yes, because according to Darth, you're neutral. The best way to describe yourself is to call yourself an agnostic. No, because according to Darth, agnostics are really atheists.
See, this was before. This is current. This is what he thinks now. He used to think this because we just heard him say it, by the way. But this is what he thinks now. So let's go with that one. No. Sorry, wrong answer. According to Darth, if you're neutral, the best way to describe yourself... Can I go back and try that one again? Damn it.
I don't know if there's a way to. What happens if you can? Yeah, you can.
Well, that would be cheating, but don't worry. Because remember, if Darth says it, it must be so.
Must be so. All right. So he has said both of those. So let me see what I want to hear what he says about agnostic here. So
okay, random. There are 3 basic positions on the existence of God. One can affirm the existence of God, one can deny, and one can remain neutral, such as an agnostic, where you don't know whether or not God does or does not exist.
That was his quote. So I mean, he has the correct 3 epistemic statuses there. I really want to hear him say, God. If you're an agnostic, you're also an atheist. I wanted to hear him say that, but next time. All right, question 11.
You read this one.
All right. According to Darth, is God, quote, by definition, personal and ultimate?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're not going to read no.
Yes,
God is personal and ultimate. Yes.
Wrong answer.
Wrong answer. What?
What? No way.
Stop
Darth,
it. Crazy talk.
When you asserted that the law of non-contradiction is established by definition only, okay, then it's arbitrary. Okay, why am I not understanding how this relates? According to Darth, God is by definition personal and ultimate.
Yes.
I don't understand. I don't get how that relates to this clip. Can you explain this, Debunked?
Well, that is speaking about when Darth when he's talking about something that is definitional. That's what I'm trying to show here. So that's the idea in this question. It relates to when he says something is or is not definitional, or he may say, by definition, because there are cases where he says, by definition, such and such.
Yeah.
But then there are other cases where if somebody is saying that to him, then it might be a little different. So that's what
I think it's who you're trying to get at.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it. It's just bizarre because, like I said, Darwin's deity runs such a script that no matter what you answer, he has a branch to go down his script that's completely opposite, and he won't even have the same conversation. Different. I mean, you take two different conversations. He'll say, like you're finding out, obviously, he'll say one thing if you say this, and then with somebody else, if they say something else, he'll say something else. There's no consistency whatsoever. You go to any of my videos, there's a pretty decent thread of consistency through them. Nope, that's not how Darwin plays. Question 12: true or false? According to Darth, a worldview is either true in its entirety or not entirely true. Well, that's clearly the case. Either
I mean,
it's one or the other. That's logic.
We have to see what he says if we say that's false.
All right. True. Darth has said that a worldview is either true in its entirety or it's not entirely true.
Yeah, so let's click true. Let's click true.
Well, I want to hear.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna click true. But false says Darth says unbelievers can make some true statements even though their statements conflict with their worldview, which means it's not entirely true, though, right? I mean, that's one or the other. Wrong answer. Oh God, we suck at this.
I don't think I have enough Darth knowledge.
Yeah.
Unbelievers can make true statements even though their statements conflict with their worldview.
Yeah, I'm lost. Okay, screw him. Question 13, true or false? Darth says that you cannot be agnostic about the ultimate reality or God.
Of course he says that.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean,
true.
I'm agnostic on the ultimate reality. If there is even we've one. Well, I think there actually is. I'm not agnostic on it, but you can be.
No, you can't be. It's in a special category.
And, get out.
There's
Stop
no
it.
explanation of why that is. But
damn it. Damn it, wrong answer. Sorry, Darth says that you cannot be agnostic about the ultimate reality of God. Okay, I want to hear this. I know you guys can't hear it here, but the outside can.
I did about that you possess mental faculties, because if you were, how could you say, I don't know whether God exists or not? That would be a contradiction. So, for example, if I say to you, I don't know or believe that God exists or does not exist, okay? Now, that sounds like a reasonable position, because we can be agnostic about a whole list of things, okay? Now, but you can't be agnostic about all, because to verbalize, I don't know that God exists, I don't know whether what reality is to stipulate that you are in possession of a singular fact without reference.
That's just bullshit. I mean, it's just like, oh God. Why can't we be agnostic on the ultimate reality? If I have the proposition, let me ask you, Debunked. If the proposition is there an ultimate reality? You can have the same thing, right? I believe it. I believe it's true. I believe it's false, or I don't believe either, right? I'm agnostic on it. Right? I believe there actually is an ultimate reality. I just don't know what the hell it is, right? But I believe there has to be something that is the case. Now, other people don't have to have that belief, right? So is Darth saying that if somebody says, look, I don't even know if there's an ultimate reality or not, they cannot do that? Because that's clearly you can.
I don't even really know what he means by ultimate reality.
Maybe like naive, like some kind of like naive realism that like reality exists independent of the mind, and that there is some facts of the matter that just has to be the case. It's like a set of all true propositions, a coherence. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I'm throwing this out there, by the way. I'm not saying this is what he's thinking. But I
think that one of the biggest mistakes people make when talking to Darth is they let him get all these Darthisms on the table. Like when you hear Darth say some weird shit like ultimate reality and then start asking you questions where that word or term shows up, like you have to ask him what the fuck he means.
Oh, absolutely.
Now that will probably result in him hanging up on you.
Yeah, you're a troll.
But
yeah, you'll hang up on you. Yeah, you can't see, the thing I've learned with Darth is you get him, one of the ways you get him off your script or his script is to ask him to be very specific on the uses of his terms And once he does that, he doesn't. He's done. He doesn't do that. He won't be specific. Like you have the same thing with him before on the word deny, right? He wouldn't be specific what he meant by it. There's a reason for that, because when you ask him to be specific, then it goes to, he has no wiggle room, right? Because he says, no, I'm using it this way. Then if he changes it later on, which he's been known to do, then he's like gets angry, then he leaves. But you can at least call him out for that. But he's done that before too.
Right. Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
What is Darth's view concerning the uniformity of nature?
You know what? I could probably answer that. Darth's view on the uniformity of nature is that God, as a omnipotent, omnibenevolent, all-knowing being, has told him that the rules of the universe will never change, that it will be consistent, because the Christian God, who knows everything, has said that there'll be consistency.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's been revealed.
It's been revealed to him, yes.
Yeah, God revealed it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
so what's he saying?
I know that, dude. I've known Darth a long time, man. What is Darth's view concerning the uniform of nature? Oh, wait, that was the question. I didn't.
Yeah, I know. I was just fucking.
That was the question.
So,
I wasn't even paying attention, man. Okay,
well, here are the options. It's an assumption, and Darth says that assumptions are arbitrary and are like a world of make-believe. Or Darth says the uniformity of nature is the fundamental bedrock assumption of all science and empirical endeavors.
Yeah, that would be the top one. Yeah.
Assumptions are arbitrary. He would not say it's an assumption. He would say for us it's an assumption, and for him as a Christian it's revealed truth.
Right, exactly. So which one do you want to go with? I don't care. Pick.
Let's go with bottom.
Bottom. Sorry, wrong answer. If you start with an assumption, then you build on an assumption. Okay, if you start with an assumption X, you say therefore Z. Okay, the assertion of Z depends on the assumption, but the assumption is arbitrary. Therefore, the assertion of necessity is arbitrary as well. What the hell does that even mean? No, it's not. That's just wrong. Let me give you why. I assume P knows axioms, and I derive the system of mathematics in the reals. 1 plus 1 equals 2 is not an assumption. It's not arbitrary. It is actually a necessity. It's a metaphysical necessity. Even though I've started with arbitrary axioms. Boom! He's wrong. That's how you disprove something.
Hey, Steve?
I find all that hard. Sorry, what?
Yes.
Yeah, Steve, sorry, I want to just interject something here. In Darth's worldview, he does not accept axioms.
What does that even mean? How does he not accept axioms?
He considers them to be arbitrary.
Well, I mean, axioms by definition are arbitrary, but so what?
Well, the way that he uses it may be different from you.
Well, shocker. But an axiom is an arbitrary thing. You don't have to accept axioms, but an axiom is how you build a coherent framework of something, right? I mean, there's a lot of axioms in mathematics. I mean, there's dozens and dozens of axioms. I mean, most people know the most common ones like reflexivity, transitivity, commutivity. But there's also, like the axiom of choice. Axiom, there's a whole. I mean, I can get it. I don't even remember all these axioms. There's so many.
Right, the point is that from his worldview, if you even say that word, he's going to use that against you. He's going to say that okay, you're speaking about axioms now, so it must be arbitrary.
Well, then you accept that. Yes,
that's how he's going to go with it.
Yeah,
okay.
You say yes. I agree with they're arbitrary. So what? What you can have a look. Then this is how you just you throw it back at him and say, look, do you believe 1 plus 1 equals 2? Is that arbitrary or is that metaphysical necessity? Right? Even though it's based on axioms, it doesn't make that arbitrary. That's an actual fact. I mean, it's a mathematical relationship. Once you have the axioms, then you can build an objective framework. That's how maths works. That's how constructivism works. All right. You only have 6 more questions. Whew.
Oh no,
we're having so much
sad.
fun. Yeah.
All right, let's
I'll read this one. Question 15. Which of the following statements, according to Darth, is true? There is nothing that is self-evident. There is something that's self-evident. Well, it's one or the other.
Second one.
Yeah, God would be self-evident to him, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
You're correct. Again, Darth says nothing is self-evident. It also says that something is self-evident.
Oh, let's say. I want to hear him say this. I want to hear him say this.
There is nothing that is self-evident. Nothing. Okay.
Well, how do we know that we know?
Okay. How do we know that we know?
Because we know.
You don't know that.
No, exactly.
You're not a Christian.
I'm trying to explain to you. Okay.
Okay.
Remember we discussed. Remember we discussed before.
So in that video, I know you guys can't hear this, but I'm playing the videos. You can see me playing the videos. So in that video, it says nothing is self-evident, and in this one, it says.
I'm actually surprised you say that.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Up the Bible and read God's revelation.
So you do trust your eyes then?
When I went out at the sun, the moon, and the stars, the heavens declare the glory word. It's just self-evident.
Well, I see lots.
So he doesn't even say. Wait, he's not even saying in that particular clip that God is self-evident. He's saying that the glory of the heavens and earth are self-evident, isn't he? You guys can't.
I watched the first one. Are you looking at the top one in the self-evident column?
Yeah. I know you guys can't hear it, but can you play that and tell me what you think of it?
Yep.
Because to me, I heard that he's talking about the glory being self-evident, not God himself. But by the way, I think he has said that God is self-evident.
Yeah, I up the Bible and read God's revelation.
That's funny.
So you do trust your eyes then?
Went
I'm
out
surprised
at the sun, the moon, and the
saying that there isn't anything self-evident.
Yeah, me too. Because like I said, he does advocate the position that God is self-evident. But in that clip, it sounds like he's saying that the glory is self-evident. Let me play this one. Another self-evident statement.
I didn't ask you if you know. So you keep on switching. You're answering a question I didn't ask.
May I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, but I'd like an answer to my question. Are you willing I want
to quickly unpack the underlying logic to show you that you're acting like there's only two truth conditions when that's not necessary.
I'm still waiting for an answer to my question.
So here's what I'm going to do, Duncan.
Is that, by the way, is that Isaac in this one, Duncan?
I can't hear. Yeah, I can't hear it, and so I don't really remember.
Okay.
Some of these people, I don't know who they are.
It kind of reminds me. It kind of sounds like Isaac, but I'm not sure. Is that you, Isaac? In that one?
I watched the first and the third. Are you watching the second one?
I know I'm watching the third. It says another self-evident statement.
I can't tell. One second. Let me hear that again.
It sounds like you, kind of.
I'm gonna keep you in the chat, but I'm gonna take you on mute for a minute so I can explain something to you. I want you to listen to me because I don't think you're listening to me.
Well, then when I again,
I think you're talking at me, but you're not listening to me.
What?
No,
what
I asked you a question.
I can't even hear a voice in there except for Darth.
Oh, I can hear a voice in there.
Really? Are you sure you're not talking about the second one?
No, it says Duncan Atheism. You can see the one I'm playing if you look at the live chat, the stream.
You're playing the second one, right?
It's so I have four on here, and I'm playing the third one, second row, right hand side.
Okay. You're playing the last one on the second row. All right, so you might be looking at the different video then, maybe from him.
I'm looking at the one that's middle in the self-evident row.
Yeah, the middle. Yeah, another self-evident statement, right?
Oh, okay.
Minute and 3 seconds long. That sounds like you.
I don't know.
That's a possible.
I hope we're talking about the same one. The 13-second one, I can't. Yeah, fuck it. Who cares?
You're almost finished with the quiz. Click on the image to the right. I can't pass this quiz due to the impossibility of the contrary. Okay, question 16. Oh, man. According to Darth, can the uniformity of nature be used to support and or stipulate a scientific position based upon observation of the result of the experiment X? No, because Darth says that the results from all scientific observations are provisional, and that science is not in position to declare anything that is true in such a way that they cannot be wrong. Therefore, any test results that you get from test X are provisional in that they are provisional and one cannot claim that that is necessarily the case. Okay, I'm going to say that's true. Yes, I'm going to go no, but just the other one to read it out. Yes, because Darth says that the uniformity of nature is the fundamental bedrock assumption of all science and empirical endeavors. Every scientist who enters a laboratory and conducts experiments, every single one must assume it. Well, that's true too. This is hard.
I'm kind of thinking yes.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Because you have to assume, right? You have to assume uniformity of nature when you do an experiment, or else you couldn't do the experiment. What? Wrong! No!
Okay, so this is a Darth quote. Begging the question, other than saying I have no reason otherwise to believe it, other than that, you have not demonstrated this quote's brutal. You have not demonstrated other than you have confidence that there is a uniformity of nature. But you have not demonstrated that it is the case that there is a uniformity of nature. The results from all scientific observations are provisional, okay? Science is not just a position. declare anything that is true in such a way that they cannot be wrong. Therefore, any results you get from a DNA test or test X are provisional. Therefore, they are provisional. Therefore, they are provisional. Then one cannot claim that it is necessarily the case, because if it is necessarily the case, then it would by default not be a provisional conclusion. I can't even track that. I don't even know what he thinks he's saying.
All right, let me try to give it a little bit of principle charity. If something is provisional, that's just our understanding of it. It's still something could be necessarily the case, right? And necessarily the case means it exists in all possible worlds. It could be that, but our understanding whether it is or not is provisional, right? I mean, some people argue like water being H2O is a metaphysical necessity. But we might have an inaccurate understanding of something which is not necessarily necessary. It could be contingent. Or actually he says in here that you have a confidence that there's a uniform nature, but you have not demonstrated that's the case. Well, yes, because we don't demonstrate the uniform nature. Because to do so, we have to assume induction, which you can't do by using induction. So we do assume uniform nature at every experiment. Right? You cannot demonstrate uniformity of nature is going to hold. You can demonstrate that, yeah, we have something that we call the uniform nature, that the laws of physics today will be the laws of physics tomorrow. Sure, that is an assumption. Because you cannot have an experiment demonstrate this, because by the very act of the experiment itself, you're using circular reasoning. You're using what you're trying to prove, which is circular. Would you agree?
I find those things hard. I understand what you're saying. Like, I well, to some extent, I get that you're saying that if experiments assume the uniformity of nature, then any proof of the uniformity of nature via an experiment would be circular.
Correct.
But I get confused when I hear things like experiments assume the uniformity of nature. Like,
just all that means
is necessarily?
Yes,
or,
yes.
Like,
it's a presupposition. We assume, look, if I was doing an experiment and I didn't assume that the speed of light's a constant, that the electric charge of an electron is constant, that Planck's constant is a constant, that's not going to change. I assume pi might change. If I don't assume that all these things are constant, how can I do an experiment that has any validity, right? Because if any of those variables change, the experiment's going to be null. It's going to be ineffective.
Contradiction there? If it's not the case. I don't know. I just haven't.
It's
thought
not a
about
contradiction.
It. Sure.
It's just that. Okay, if I did an experiment to say, look, I want to test something, but all these variables I cannot control any longer, right? Because you have an independent variable and you have a dependent variable. But now I have all these independent variables. Every single one of them, right, can change. If I'm trying to measure something in a circuit, but you know what? Now the electron charge has changed. Now the potential states have changed. Now, you know, what it means to even have a volt has changed, right? The potential difference between two regions. All this changed. So how can I depend on the results of the experiment if I don't assume that these constants are constant? Now, that's fine. We do this all the time. What we can't do is say, look, I'm gonna have an experiment that demonstrates that the uniform in nature exists. It cannot change, because then you're literally using circular reasoning. I'm saying, look, I'm using the uniform in nature to demonstrate the uniform in nature.
Yeah, I would really need to think about it. Like, I get the idea that if an experiment assumes the uniformity of nature, then proving the uniformity of nature with an experiment would be a circle.
Yeah, you have to use something else to prove it. You have to use some kind of external means to show that the uniform nature can, like the laws of physics cannot change for whatever reason. You would have to be able to show that. Which, how could we do that? Oh,
I guess it's just. Yeah, does an experiment have to assume that, though? Can it just assume some kind of uniformity? Does it have to assume any? Like, I don't know. I would need to think about it. I don't have a view
about it, but yes, they'd have to assume all of them. But Duncan, I don't want to keep calling you Duncan. Debunked. Would you agree, though? Darwin normally argues that he knows that the uniform nature will hold because God has told him so, right?
Okay, Steve. Now let me interject something right here. Okay, this is a very good question you just asked me. And can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at my YouTube channel, and if you look at the quiz, and if you also look at the website, you will notice I don't make it a point to interject my view. In other words, I'm not giving a personal narration. I'm asking the audience to reach their own conclusion about what they think. That's my main theme.
Totally get it. All right.
Okay.
Question 17. What does Darth say to his opponent in a debate if something is definitional?
I mean, I guess I feel like in this quiz we're gonna get an example of him saying it's arbitrary and like it's the opposite of that or something. Okay, if something is true by definition, there's no need to explain it any further. If something is definitional, it requires more of an explanation.
Yeah,
I'm sure he has said.
I think he said both.
Yeah. Now remember, this relates to what we were talking about earlier. You remember when you were speaking about definitional, and you know, I told you this is how he uses that word, definitional. So this is the example. It's another example.
All right, so I'm gonna say that requires more of an explanation. Sorry,
okay.
I don't have to because it is true by definition.
Yeah.
3 more questions to go.
I mean, I'm actually fine with that. Like, if
me too,
it says like, show me that, you know, God is, I don't know, like omnipotent. It's like it'd be fine to reply to that by just saying like God is just definitionally omnipotent. Like when I talk about God, I'm just talking about something that's omnipotent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, by the same token, if you're an unmarried man, it's by definition you're a bachelor, right? You don't have to go any further than that. You know, now that by the way, that doesn't hold empirical consistent logic. Fun fact. Okay.
All right, click the image. Only 3 more questions to go.
All right,
all right, clicked it. Bonus question, extra credit. The following question is not counted against you if you answer it incorrectly. This question is not a multiple choice. You must type your answer in the field below. If you do not know the answer, just leave the field blank and click on the little radio button and then click on submit. So question 18. What was Darth able to reduce about the what was Darth able to reduce about the real existence of reality and or the ultimate truth of reality? Type your answer in the area below. Is it supposed to be reduced
or is it's not deduced?
It's supposed to be deduced?
No, it's reduced.
Okay. All right. All right, so click on the radio and submit.
What it's asking what he says, so I'm just going to write God.
God. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to
do. All right, I clicked the little button. I'm submitting it. Did I get it right? Sorry, wrong answer. Darth does not know the meaning of the words reduce, real existence, reality, and ultimate truth of reality. So he would not be able to understand the meaning or intelligible of this question. See videos below. Darth does not know what reduce means. Darth does not know what real means. Darth does not know what existence, reality, and the ultimate truth of reality mean.
I could buy this because this guy, Michael Fowl, he's a wordsmith. He's like, he's scarily good in wordsmithing. Now,
I saw that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time.
Or something.
Yeah. So he probably doesn't know what half these words. Well, I mean, I don't believe words have intrinsic meaning, but I don't think he uses them in a way that most people would generally use any of these words. All right, question 19. Bonus question.
Hello, Steve.
All right.
Hello, Steve.
Yeah.
I want to interject something here also, because there are times when Darth will say, well, you know, I'm being very honest, I'm being transparent, and I'm, you know, so this right here is to show that may not necessarily be the case.
All right. Shocker. Wow. Wow. Yeah, no, it's not like I've never seen Darth lie. Yes. And by the way, when I'm one of those people, real quick, I'm one of those people when I say somebody's lied, I'm going to have reasons for it. And 99% of the time, or 95, I'm going to say 95 because that's a great number, I'd be able to show the reasons for it. Sometimes I can't for some other reasons, but I want people to know what I believe. And I just take it as self-assessment. And you don't have to believe it. And they are justified claims. I get it. But they're usually those are the most smaller ones. But when I say Darth lied, I can actually show that he's lied. I mean, he literally in a discussion said that I had only debated him one. Well, not debated because we never debated. Only had engaged with him once, and he's never spoken to me otherwise. And that was what he called on the Council of Google Plus, which did happen. That was Matt Slick's channel. But I even had Antonio Fletcher come on my channel not too long ago and said, "Well, that's bogus. That's BS. You've been on my channel with him many times, and I've been on MK's channel with him, and I was on Nadia Yvette's Chambers." Channel with him. So either he has a very piss poor memory, which is weird because he hates me and he'll like talk massive crap about me. So I'm sure he knows who I am because he just says, you know, he'll never engage me again. But he says we've only engaged once, and I'm like, that's a lie. So he either has a really faulty memory or it's an outright lie. And I'm gonna say it's a lie because people have told him, dude, we've seen you engage with him on multiple different platforms.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just want to let you know, I have been the fly on the wall, so to speak, and I've heard him say a lot about you.
Oh yeah, he knows who I am.
Not only you, but many other well-known YouTube characters. Matt Dillahunty, you name it. The more well-known, he's very verbal and very liberal about his ideas on those people.
Oh, absolutely. I totally believe that 100%. And yet, by the way, he's not banned. I've never banned him. He's more than welcome to come into my hangouts. He can go in the live chat. He can come in. He never does. He never will. Why is that? Why is it he expects me to go into his Discord? Well, he doesn't, but the Discord operator, Real Politics, that guy, he was like, hey, why don't you come in and have a discussion with Darth? And I said, look, I've been here, done that. I mean, I've gone on Discord and other YouTube hangouts with him. It never ends well because he mutes, he boots, the person in charge gives him too much unfair moderation, and it's just like I don't do that any longer. I'm not ever going to put myself in that situation again because he's just dishonest as shit. But if he wants to come in and talk to me, that's fine. But he won't. Yeah.
Guy who runs Real Politics, I mean, he seems nice enough most of the time.
I had to block him. I couldn't take it. Yeah, I couldn't take it. I had to block him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Told me I was going to burn in hell.
Well, I just wanted to say, I mean, what you just said, Steve, you nailed it because, I mean, I can answer that question if you literally want me to answer that.
Sure,
I definitely can.
Yeah, please.
But you nailed it.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
You nailed it.
Hashtag Steve was right. I know.
He said, generally when he talks about people not coming on into his channel, he presents it as if they are afraid to come into the channel.
Yeah, of course they do. They've been doing that shtick for years. Hey, look, Debunk, do I sound like I'm afraid of Darth Dawkins?
No.
Okay. It's the same shit I get from all these bottom feeders. They throw these things out there like, oh, Steve. I had one person telling me I'm shitting my pants because I'm being sued. I'm not being sued, and if I am, I don't give a fuck. I have a lawyer. My lawyer knows all about this shit. I'm like, bring it. I'm a countersue. I got another, I don't know, about a year on a defamation lawsuit that I'm thinking about. So why would I be scared? I got all the evidence. I'm like,
but let me finish. What I was also going to say is that, I totally agree with what you had said earlier because more often than not, there are people that will go into his Discord server and they want to be completely charitable and they are completely honest and they are completely polite and kind. And you see minutes later, bye-bye.
Yeah, he'll boot it. Yeah, he boots and boots, and I don't play that game. Look, anyone here can tell Darth, you're welcome to go to Steve's channel. Then he'll be like this, well, Steve's a troll, and I don't engage with him. First of all, I've never trolled him in my life. Second of all, everybody said, hey, come into the Discord and have a conversation with Darth Dawkins. And I'm like, why? Oh, you're scared. Well, wait a minute. If I'm scared, why am I inviting him to come onto my channel?
Yeah, I have
and he doesn't get mooted and booted. I don't play that fucking game.
I have a debate offer open to Darth about the agnosticism thing. He's welcome to take it anytime, and I don't think he will.
No. All right, question 19. Can you read this one? I've had some stomach issues the last couple of days, and it's starting to kick up again.
I will read it. Bonus question, extra credit. The following question is not counted against you if you answer it incorrectly. The question is not a multiple choice. The following is a list of items that Darth says or admits he doesn't know about. Please read the list, then answer the question below. Okay. Darth knows what real means. Darth doesn't know. My bad. Darth doesn't know what real means. Darth doesn't know what reality is. Darth doesn't know what reduce means, what existence is, what self-evident means. Doesn't fully understand God's properties and attributes. Doesn't fully understand the hypostatic union, the divine nature, the mind of God, the mind of humans, which would include every human and even himself, the ultimate truth of reality, what the ultimate truth of reality is, and the intricacies of agency. So question 19 is, what does Darth usually say to his debate opponents when Darth asks them, on what do you base your worldview and or reasoning on? And they say, I don't know
this answer. I can answer this. And by the way, before I do though, your friend Smokey says, Darth does not consider you to be a serious interlocutor. Well, it's kind of funny because Darth may not consider me to be a serious interlocutor, but I just was asked by Dr. Fuzz Rana we're talking about actually maybe doing a book together. We're doing a show together, and we want to put the transcripts together. And he read my Gumballs and God, thought it was amazing. He thought it was well written. He understood it. He's like, this made this. I really understood the epistemic positions now. I'm sorry, but I'd rather have a PhD in biochemistry that actually likes my work, like when I wrote Gumballs and God, and who may want to put everything and compile to a book, because that's what they do. They write books and reasons to believe. And I'd be thrilled to death. I have actual experts and people that I talk to. Who does Darwin have? What does he consider?
Well,
I mean, when he talks to anybody of any merit, they all think he's an idiot. I'm sorry. I look at it this way. I'd rather have people that are PhDs and experts who don't think I'm an idiot than Darwin's deity, who nobody in the world would ever take him seriously. Nobody.
Really? You don't consider the praise of Darth like the most important thing ever?
I don't. But I'm going to answer this question. Are you ready for this? When they said it, no?
Steve?
Yes.
Yeah, I got an answer too.
Well, sorry, I just want to interrupt real quick. You asked who did Darth have? Well, remember, he has the credibility of all the little members that are in his Discord chat room.
Oh yeah, his little sycophants. Yeah, well, you remember a guy named and by fact, his avatar came up before, but he went by Isaiah.
No, I don't know.
Isaac. What was it?
No, it's not me.
No, it's not you. It's a different one.
But you do realize I'm being facetious, right?
Yeah.
You know I'm being sarcastic.
Of course,
okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but he has the credibility of those people.
Yeah. Smokey says, I love that you're getting involved with the RTP team. You're a great addition. They loved me, and I'm the only non-scholar I think they've ever had. Every one of them is a scholar. Most of them are PhDs. Ken Samples has a master's degree, but I'm the only one that they liked so much that they wanted to actually do a show around, and that tells me something, right? So when anybody's out there like Matt Dullenty saying, "Well, look, nobody should take Steve seriously," then, but then they'll watch this, they'll be like, "Well, theists are taking him seriously." Well, yeah, maybe because you know what? They actually know logic and they actually know some reasons, and they actually like what I have to say. And by the way, they're not the only organization that I'm working with, so. Good for you, Darth. You get to sit in a Discord and get to, kind of, play your godhood type thing on your idiotic arguments to white belts. Perfect. All right. So my answer to the question is this.
Your answer looks, I read it on your screen. Okay. That's a good answer. I have a good one too. And when I read yours, I was like, damn, I actually don't know if mine's right.
I'm not going to say that I haven't done this. I actually have once or twice, but when I do it, I really want people to understand. Because when they say I don't know, they mean it as, look, I'm not making a knowledge claim. So this is what you would say. Well, I didn't ask what you know when they're using it that way, not as they're using it as ordinary doubt. Again, go to my blog, www.greatdebatecommunity.com. In the video description, I wrote a blog on this particular topic on I don't know being either ordinary doubt or not the assertion of knowledge. And so you might want to go check that out because I see a lot of people conflate those two. I'm a really big fan of my blog. I'm sorry. I like to get the stuff out. All right. So the following video gives and watch somebody say, look, Steve's citing himself. No, I actually have a list of like dozens and dozens of citations for my support. The following video gives the answers to the previous question. Okay, let's check it.
I think he's going to say that everything's imaginary if you don't know what your worldview is based on. But yeah, let's see what he says.
Let's see what he says.
So
playing it now.
Today, reasoning with me based upon, quote, I don't know. If your reasoning is derivative of I don't know, why should I pay attention to your reason?
Wait. Okay, so he said, if you're derivative, if you're deriving things or something out of I don't know, why should I care what you have to say, kind of thing, right? Is that kind of what he's going for? So I think I think he has a problem here when I make a statement about knowledge, right? And not about just mere ordinary doubt, that I don't know how to answer the question, right? I don't know how to give a proper reason why I assign a truth value, right? Like, this goes back to the Gumballs and God. If the gumballs are even or odd, and when I say I don't know, I'm not saying anything to do with knowledge. What I'm saying is I don't know how to evaluate it. I can't assign the proposition to be true if you're saying that it's even, and I can't say it to be false, if you know. And so when I say I don't know, it has nothing to do with epistemic dispositions as far as knowledge. Now, if he's saying, though, if you don't know something as actually knowledge predication, why should anybody care? And there's a whole bunch of problems with that because we care about beliefs just as much as we care with knowledge, right? If you have a true belief, and it may not be knowledge, it's just true belief, I think that's pretty good. I think you're most of the way there. Matter of fact, there is something called the swamping problem, which is the difference between having a justified true belief Excuse me, an unjustified true belief and knowledge. Or because if your belief is true and you believe it, does knowledge give us any more value? Right? It's the value added problem. And it's a big thing in epistemology. Is there any value added by saying that we have knowledge as compared to just having a true belief? But think about that. If I know my cup exists, which you can't see it because it's invisible, right? If I say I believe my cup exists, and it does exist, it's instantiated, it's got what's called a truth maker, an instance of existence, and that is true, and I believe it. Okay, great. Now, if I add justification to it that I have knowledge, have I really anything of value? Right? I mean, I don't know, right? Because it's already the case that it's true, and I believe it. And so,
yeah, I mean, this is like the standard kind of stuff they talk about here, like the Gettier case and stuff. Yeah. Like you can have like a true belief, like that there's a coin in your pocket, but it could be that like you believe that because you put a coin in your pocket that morning, and that coin actually fell out, and somehow like an eagle flew by and dropped a new coin in your pocket.
Right, exactly.
So
that's a Gettier case. Yeah.
I want to say it's not knowledge,
right? Because it's called epistemic luck, right? And by the way, Dr. Linda 𝐭𝐬𝐧𝐥𝐬, she actually, and I hope I pronounced her name right, Linda 𝐭𝐬𝐧𝐥𝐬. She wrote a really good paper that all Gettier cases, or any belief first theory of knowledge, will have a Gettier case, all of them, because of epistemic luck, and I don't think she's wrong on that. But then they argue, well, so what? Even if reliabilism, her swamping problem is with an espresso maker that says, if I have an espresso maker that always works and I have one that only works sometimes, it's unreliable. But they both made me a good cup of coffee, and that coffee tastes exactly the same. Is there any value by the fact that one is reliable and the other one's not, just for the taste of the coffee? No. Coffee tastes the same. I value that coffee either way, right? So, all right, question 20.
This is the last question.
Yeah, okay, guys, let's do it.
All right, what would Darth tell you if you say that something must be so due to the impossibility of the contrary? Oh, fuck, I don't know. Okay, according to Darth, it's called reductio ad absurdum. It is a type of indirect and... it is a type of indirect and direct.
What is that? Wait, what is that? Wait, I gotta stop you. What the hell does that even mean? Is indirect and direct?
No idea. And direct.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, it sounds like a contradiction. That a proposition is presented and the denial or non-acceptance. He's always so weird about that fucking phrasing. It's like, is denial rejection or is it non-acceptance?
Yeah, he's using denial as non-acceptance, and not as how he did before, where you deny something as accept negation. Yeah,
it's like a bait and switch, because it's like trivial and everyone will agree you either accept it or you don't accept it, but then he'll swap that language with you either affirm or deny it, and he's not doing the same thing there. He's saying you either say it's true or you say it's false. Okay, so non-acceptance of the proposition leads to unintelligibility and incoherence, establishing the proposition. Reductio ad absurdum is a valid line of reasoning, not only in courts of law, but in history as well as in philosophy. The other option is, according to Darth, if one says that something must be so due to the impossibility of the contrary, that would just be definitional. Definitely the first one.
Yeah, definitely the first one. And by the way, reductio is basically just an argument where you have proof by contradiction, right? You start off with the premise, you show that leads to a contradiction, therefore the premise is false, right?
That's a kind of reductio. There's different ways to do a reductio. There's like can be a contradiction, then it's proof by contradiction kind of reductio, or it can be like an implausibility, like it can just be that there's some really weird seeming entailment on your view
by absurdities.
Yeah, like but people debate about that. Like, I don't know if you saw Malpass's recent stuff with Craig, but part of their disagreement is there's these weird problems you get with actual infinities, and there's some of these kind of like intuition pumps that are used to make us think that an actual infinity is like implausible. And there's like there's like Hilbert's Hotel and that kind of stuff, and the argument turns into, well, like, should we really take that as a reductio? Because it seems wacky, but there's not necessarily a contradiction there. Is the wackiness sufficient for us to rule it out? So there's different things that qualify as reductio.
Isaac, fun fact. Not only did I watch that, I actually contacted Alex, because he's a friend of mine, and I wrote a blog on that too, on their debate on the difference between future tense and whether you do actually count something for countable infinities and relating them to natural numbers for projection. I actually wrote a blog on that. Now,
Yeah, that's cool.
I gotta tell you something. That was one of the hardest ones to write. I got about 80% out what I wanted. I really do think that there was about 20% I wish I would have come, and I may go back and I add on. But I had asked Alex about that particular thing, and I had said, Alex, look, I listened to your debate with Malpass, with William and Craig, and I got to tell you, dude, what the hell were you talking about? I'm the person, like, if I don't understand something, I'm going to tell you, I don't understand it. What was the problem? He described it in great detail. And you know what I did? I spent 3 days trying to understand the great detail that Alex went into. And then I wrote a blog on it to explain to other people. Because I wanted to show that, look, even a layperson like myself can understand these complex topics somewhat and try to relate them. And Alex read it. And Dr. Josh Rasmussen, who is a theist, he read it. He's a theist philosopher.
I've seen him.
Yeah, nice guy. He read it, and they both were like, "Yeah, you got the gist of it down. You know, this is good enough, kind of thing." Even though, like I said, I wish I would have added some stuff to it because it's a very hard topic. But yeah, this is what I write my blogs for, man. I like writing my blogs on these things.
I should read that, and I also want to read the gumball one because
please do.
It seems like
in the video description, just go there and you'll find it. But yeah, excuse me, my gumball on God is my favorite because that's the one that really describes agnosticism to a T.
Yeah, I'm going to have to actually check that out. I'll give you feedback after I read it, though.
Please. Yeah, well, like I said, Dr. Fuzz Rana, even though he's a biochemist, he read it, and he was really impressed by it. All right, so let's do this. We're going to do top. And by the way, in the live chat, how many of you guys have read one of my blogs before? And you guys, any entry, and if you can remember which one, that'd be great. But also, have you read Gumballs and God? So if you can live chat, let me know. Have you read any of my blogs? And if you have you read Gumballs and God? And then afterwards, if you listen to this, please put it in the video description if you have. All right, let's do this. Sorry, wrong answer. Big surprise. Wow, shocker. That's just
we fucked up.
Yeah, God, we suck. That completes the quiz. Click on the image to see how you scored. You suck. Ooh, we didn't do very well, I don't think.
Oh, you want to read it?
Yeah, go. No. Please, by all means, go for it.
All right. Well, that completes the quiz. The reason why you cannot pass this exam is due to the impossibility of the contrary. I mean, that would make it seem like a reason why you can pass if the contrary to passing is impossible. But anyway, for example, questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, and 20 are impossible to answer correctly due to the impossibility of the contrary. Questions 8, 9, and 15 are impossible to answer incorrectly. In fact, everyone answers them.
No wrong answers on those. Yay, we got those 3 right. Okay.
There are a total of 20 questions on the quiz. Questions 18 and 19 are not counted against you. The scoring formula is as follows. 100% divided by 18, number of total questions, minus 5.5%.
No, equals 5.5%
for each correct answer. The highest possible amount of questions you could answer correctly are 3 questions. So 3 times 5.5 equals 16.6, and you need at least 16.7 to pass. If you would like to complain about the legitimacy of any of these answers, see Darth. If you would like to leave a comment about this exam, click on the image below. I'm gonna click the image.
I have one minor issue with this, and again, I might be nitpicking. I would ask Landon about this because he's a mathematician. I don't. For some reason, I don't like the way it says 100% divided by 18. I would if you're going to do a ratio, you're going to do it as 2 integers. That'll give you percent, right? So you don't do 100% divided by 18. The way I think in my head about math, it's 100 divided by 18. That gives you the 5.5%. I mean, I know what you're going for, but I think there's a technical thing there. Am I wrong on that? I mean, because again, how do you divide 18 100% by 18? You're taking the number 100, you divide by 18, then you get 5.5%. Is that right?
I think you're asking too many questions. I mean, I don't think
when I drink coffee, I think, man. I do deep thinking. Now, I know I'm going to ask Landon that question. But hey, you know what? If I'm wrong on that, you know what I do? I go, hey, whatever. I was just thinking. You know, I just cannot be wrong. The impossibility of the contrary.
Well, I'm proud of us. We made it through the entire thing. So
you're proud that we failed miserably?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just okay. Setting that aside, I'm just proud we managed to actually get through this thing. Yeah. So
yeah, that was pretty good. Okay, so that was actually more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's about as much Darth as I can tolerate in a day.
Was enjoyable.
So what do you got?
Very enjoyable. I appreciate both of you helping, going through it. Because that was exactly what I wanted. What I heard from both of you That is exactly what I wanted to hear.
Good.
Now,
We aim to
I do
please.
have a question. I do have a question. Could you give me maybe about 5 minutes? This is a serious note. Could I have about 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Just to say something that I would like to say?
I would tell you what, I will give you a full 5 minutes. I will even mute, and Isaac will mute, and you just say stop when you're done, and it's all yours.
Thank you. Okay, so this is
no
more
racial stuff though. Don't know racial stuff. Go.
Hitler.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't worry. It's not going to touch on that at all.
Go.
But it's just more of a serious note. There is a lie, which is, because I don't have the opportunity to come onto these shows very often. You're only the second show that I've came on. And, also I said earlier, I've never spoke with anyone, a one-on-one or a conversation prior to May 15. So this is all completely new to me. But what I wanted to talk about was there is a lie which Darth is speaking about. He's lying about me. And he had said, well, let me just go back. I want to go back so that you understand what took place earlier. And this is going to be the last time I'm ever going to say it. But because I did a couple of videos on this. So once I say this, I've said my piece. Unless Darth wants to come through and say that I'm lying, unless he wants to show that I am lying right now, other than that, I have nothing else to say. But let me go back. It was an incident that took place in March of this year where I was on YouTube and I was in a live feed. Now, I wasn't in the audio part. I was only in the text part, but I was on a live feed and Darth was in the YouTube channel. It was on a channel called Jungle Jargon. And I was, so I was listening to them for a few minutes. And then I started texting in the side chat. And when I did that, Darth noticed that I was texting. So he challenged me. He said he saw my name, Darth Dawkins Debunked. So he challenged me to come in to the live chat in order to have a debate with him. Okay. So, well, I know how that goes. Well, to make a long story short, he convinced the moderator to get me ejected, to bump me out of the room. But anyway, what I wanted to say about that is that he didn't know. Darth did not actually know at that time, or he did not know, that I had actually challenged him to a debate over a year earlier. I had sent him 2 emails, and I challenged him to either have a conversation or a debate with me. So when I was in the live chat, he didn't know that because I was under another screen name. But what happened, he called me a liar. Now, here's the thing. I can go ahead and I can tolerate somebody calling me a basket case or whatever the case may be. But if you're going to call me a liar, maybe I'm a little old-fashioned, but if you're going to call me a liar, show where I'm lying. I mean, if you're going to say I'm a liar and a fraud, show me where I'm a liar and a fraud. Otherwise, you should keep your mouth shut. So that's my idea about that. And so I'm not going to call someone a liar unless I have something to back it up, which I do. I'm going to say right now, and this I will say right in front of Darth. He is, to the highest degree, a bold-faced liar. Now, I'm going to get to that in a second. But what I was going to say is that he called me a liar. And so what happened was a couple weeks later, this is when I was on, it was a live stream, which was on May 15. And I was, I was invited to come on as a guest to come into that and do exactly what we are doing now. So I was there, and at the time I was there, I was the only one with the moderator. It started out, I was the only one with the moderator. Godless Girl came in a little later, and then she temporarily left, and then Darth came into the room. Now, before I tell you what happened, I'm going to read this letter. This is a letter that I had sent to the moderator of that YouTube channel, and I want to read this. It's a short letter, but I just want to read it. Okay. Well, just to let you know, I've never actually had a debate or verbally spoken a word to anyone on either Discord, YouTube, or any other venue. So I'm very serious in my intentions. It's not that I'm antisocial or hold any negative opinion about chatting with others, but I think that based on your video, you are someone who's open to hearing others' viewpoints. And actually, I'm hearing I'm hearing a lot of noise in the background.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay. Okay, but let me continue. So, but I think that based on your video, when I say your video, I'm speaking about the moderator. You are someone who is open to hearing others' viewpoints and actually have an exchange versus a one-sided presentation where only one individual completely dominates or controls the interaction. I do have a YouTube channel. Sorry, give me just a moment. I do have a YouTube channel, website, and a quiz that presents my take on Darth's worldview. And I would be more than happy to come into your channel with one condition. I will not be open to being in the same chat room as Darth. And I have a reason for that, which I don't want to post here, but I would be more than happy to share with you in an email or in a private chat. But for now, I can only say that I have, quote unquote, unfinished business with Darth, which relates to an incident that took place about 6 or 7 weeks ago. And when I say that, I'm referring back to when he called me a liar and a fraud, okay, where Darth accused me of being a fraud and a liar, and Darth is aware of this, quote unquote, unfinished business. I have never chatted verbally with Darth because I have already brought this point to Darth's attention in a PDF that I sent to him in Discord. I would be open to a chat with Darth in the future, but only after the other issues are settled, and not in his Discord chat room, but in a healthy and mutually respectful environment that is open to the free exchange of thoughts and ideas, even if those ideas differ from mine. Other than this, I will look forward to a chat with you and others on your channel. Excuse me, I have to scroll down a little more. Okay, and then I said, if Darth were to come in and join the chat tomorrow, I would not have any problem with that. If he is in the room the same time as me, I am not going to be inhibited in any way. I will explain my thoughts and views in an open and respectful way. I would just prefer to remain quiet. And if he wants to chat, if he wants to chat with me, I have no problem with that either, as long as he first addresses the situation I described earlier. Okay, so that was the note that I sent to the moderator one day before Darth came into the chat room and challenged me to the debate. That's the reason. There are two reasons why I did not accept the debate. One is because of this so-called unfinished business. Before I have any type of a debate, I mean, to hell with philosophy. Before I have any time of a debate with Darth, first, we're going to talk about, am I a liar or a fraud? If he's calling me a liar or a fraud, show me where I lied and show me where I'm a fraud. If you cannot show me that, then I'm taking it. You don't have any. You don't have a valid.
Let me jump into that. First, Kawasa, okay. 10,001. Thank you, Kawasa. I appreciate it. All right, so yeah, dude. I first of all, I totally get what you stand. Look, I tend to what's called virtue ethics, right? And virtue ethics is somebody who believes that they're, you know, if you want to be ethical, at least there's one of many one of ethical frameworks. But I tend to virtue ethics, and there are times where I think you're ethical to lie. Okay, so you don't want to be like dishonest. You don't want to lie all the time, but you don't want to be brutally honest where you hurt somebody's feelings, white lies kind of stuff. And look, I mean, there are times when people may have to do that. I can't think of the last time I actually did a white lie, but I might have to. okay, to save somebody's feelings. I don't have a problem with that. That's not what makes somebody a liar, as we understand what a liar is, right? But I'm the same way as you. If somebody called me a liar, where we actually have some kind of evidence that I willfully have misled people for my own gain, for being unethical or anything like that, I have a standing offer. Show us the evidence. I know right now there's a couple people that are willing to evaluate it objectively. I trust ACS Pastor. If you go check out his show, he's one of the UK dudes. So we have a lot of time differentials. But I like his stuff. I think he's objective. He's even said he would evaluate. Somebody says, Steve lied. Okay, what did he lie about? I have the Tavern, Jay from the Tavern. He said he would. I'm the same way as you. If you think I've lied about something, show me the evidence. And do you know if people have actually done this? Zero. Absolutely zero. And it's kind of funny. Because like I said, I'm the first person to admit there might be a time where I need a lie to save somebody's feelings. Right? Because that's a virtuous thing to do. But even then, they haven't even found anything like that. And so when they're calling you a liar, when Darth Dawkins tells you a liar, I'm on board with you on that. What have you lied about? Show us the evidence for that. Because all these people calling out, oh, you're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar. It's so ubiquitous, it's not even having a meaning any longer. Because, first of all, they never show when somebody actually lied. I'm the opposite. I say, look, this person lied. Let me show you. And then, you know what I do? I provide the evidence for it. So I totally get that you stand with that. I'm on board with you on that.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Now, could I have about maybe 2 more minutes? Okay,
I'm gonna put you back on the clock here because I got to wrap this up here. So.
Okay, this will be. I'll read very quickly, but the current law. That's the difference between me and Darth, or you and Darth. See, if I call someone a liar, I'm going to make sure that I have something to show before I even do that. So it gets back to what he had said. He called me a liar. And so what happened, the night that he was in the chat with me, he asked me, did I go under any other screen name? And I told him that I did go under a couple other screen names. So what he did, he posted a video a couple nights after that saying that he had actually, he said that I was never in his chat room speaking with him. And he said that he had muted me, but he said that he remembered chatting with me, which is a bold-faced lie. I had never spoke with Darth, but I'm almost finished now. What happened was in the night that he spoke with me, he asked me what were my screen names. And then in the video, which was done on his channel, he said, oh, yeah, I remember him because he was in another account called Agnostic, and I muted him in that account. Now, that is a bold-faced lie. The reason why I could not have been in that account, which was called Agnostic, is because that account was already inactive. In fact, it was Darth that muted me in that account. So that account that I was using under that screen name had been inactive since August of last year. So when Darth said that he muted me under that screen name, it was a bold-faced lie. Also, all of this is on my website. I show proof of this. Before I left that account, I made screenshots of how or what happened. See, what had happened was I was speaking with another individual, and at that time, there was another individual that sent me a message, a personal message. And when I was responding to that message, I was typing, and Darth heard me typing. And when he heard me typing, that's when he muted me. And he even said out loud to the other people that were in the room, well, I'm going to mute this person because I hear him making typing noises. So before I left that chat room or that account, I made screenshots of my dialogue. I even had a dialogue with that person that sent me the message. So those screenshots are on my website. Also, the 2 letters that I emailed to Darth, they're also on my website to show that I actually challenged him. So Darth is a bold-faced liar.
All right, well, let us know if he retracts that. Like I said, I am. By the way, the link to his website is in the video description. I always give, like I said, 95% of the time, I try to give evidence for my claims. I will, like I said, I always do full transparency when I can. So here's full transparency. I know God. I was gonna say I know Kyle lied. It's just habit at this point. I say that. That's funny. I know Darren's lied because like I said, he had said that I had never interacted with him before, except for one time, which was on the Council of Google Plus. Now, the problem I run into is I did interact with him on MK's channel. I did interact with him on Antonio Fletcher's channel. I did interact with Nadia Yvette Chambers' channel. Now, MK's channel is no longer around, so that evidence is gone. Antonio Fletcher's channel was no longer around, but he did come into my chat and he verified, yes, Steve had talked to him many times. So that, again, is testimonial evidence. I get this. And then Nadia has come around every so often. I'm sure she would definitely vouch for that. She was one of my mods for the longest time. But I don't have the physical evidence because those channels are no longer around. Although there is one, actually there is one video out there that I did see. It's on Darth's Greatest Hits. That was from Nadia Yvette's Chambers, I believe. And it shows me in the hangout with Darth saying, Darth has these 18 questions he won't answer. And anybody who asks these kind of questions, he just blocks. And I'm in the same hangout with him. So, boom, there's at least one instance where I was in the same hangout with him. Because he absolutely lied on Modern Day Debate, said, oh, I've only talked to Steve once, but he's a troll. Yeah, you're full of crap. So, but I'm the same as you. I like to be able to demonstrate my claims, and I sure the hell, if somebody's going to call me a liar, or somebody's going to make a claim like that, and they don't back it up, there's a problem, right? But anyways, this was fun, dude. This was a lot more enjoyable than I thought it could be. I didn't know what I was getting stuff into. Isaac, always a pleasure, my friend.
Very much. I'm sorry. I said I appreciate it very much. Thank you both.
I left you a comment on your quiz, so yes, thanks for educating me. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys, I'm gonna bugger out of this. I've been binge watching SWAT lately, so I'm gonna make a nice dinner, binge watch some SWAT, and go to bed, man, because it's been a long
I hear
day.
that. I think you could hear me swap some items in the oven, so dinner's on my mind too.
I'm so hungry.
Well, always obviously good talk. Sorry?
No, I was just gonna say I've been drinking coffee, and then I had the other day I had a few IPAs. And I'm telling you, I'm just now getting back to normal. My stomach has been in knots for days. GERDs.
Yeah, that's no good.
I hate it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always good talking to you, Steve. Happy to do it anytime. And good meeting you too, Rob. I don't think Darth's ever going to respond to you or debate you, but nice website, though.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. Steve, I wanted to ask you one thing real quick. Do you mind if I take this video, once you post it, do you mind if I post it on my channel?
I don't mind at all, but I will tell you this. YouTube's cracking down on mirroring, so I just want to give people, just take the video and add a bumper to it. Say, look, this came from Steve's channel on this date.
Absolutely.
And then that way it doesn't click the algorithm. I mean, not the algorithm. It doesn't click the thing where it says, look, this guy's just uploading other people's material. It's a little transformative. So if you upload a video that's exactly the same length, same bit size, YouTube's starting to crack down to that, so just be wary of that. But absolutely, you have my permission. It's right here. People, and you can record this part that I've given you permission.
Thank you.
Knock yourself out with it. Yes. I have a rule, by the way. Anybody I've ever given permission for to use my videos, that's quote in perpetuity. It doesn't matter whatever happens. I won't ever retract that on anybody because that's bullshit. You fall out with people, and then people will start. By the way, because that works both ways. Because I have people that. I use my stuff, but I'm not going to go after them, and I would expect they don't go after me. But if they tried, that's fine. I'm just going to do it to them, and it's silly at that point. So you have my full punishment to use my shit. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Later, guys. I'm out. Good night.
Good night. Peace.
Good night.